Are 2019 MacBooks secretly time bombs? Now, quite recently, I've realized the trend in the whole 2019 MacBooks saga. Now, there's been a couple of reports happening online, and personally, per experience, I've realized from fellow friends and colleagues who have 2019 MacBooks have sudden shutdown of machines, or machines out of nowhere stop working. Some reports come from power failure all the way to a random charge to a discharge that the next day trying to put their machines on. These machines refuse to come on suddenly. Now, this has been going on for some time, and generally when these things happen, we all go to our first alternatives, that is people who are tech savvy. The first option generally would be you trying troubleshooting. General troubleshooting also then doesn't work. This then makes me question if the general notion of Apple intentionally crippling down all old devices for users to generally move on to newer devices there is actual truth to that. But then again, I went on per research, and upon my research, I stumbled upon some articles that were posted on Reddit, which seems very interesting. And from reading, I realized that these actually could be the reason why these MacBooks are breaking down. Now, someone might ask, why does this matter? Generally, MacBook Pros are premium devices, so it means it comes with premium prices. So anybody who generally owns these MacBooks definitely paid a lot of money for them. Then again, there's a second point of Apple's reliability, and that is a big ask from most people who use Apple devices in general. Now, people who use Apple devices generally use it for the notion of it being reliable. So for you to buy a 2019 MacBook, for it to cause a problem, then it begins to question the whole idea of general consumers trusting a brand. Also, then there's the point of repair costs. Now, these machines, as mentioned earlier, are premium devices. Repairing these machines also then means that the cost of some parts become very expensive. From screens to boards can heap up to thousands of cedis, even to thousands of dollars, depending on where you would want to repair your machines from. Now, I'll give a general read on what the Reddit post user gave us as being the cause of these problems. So generally, the cause of this is explained by the Reddit post. I'll add that down in the description for you guys to, if you want to take a close look, a more detailed take of what the Reddit post was. But basically, in simple words, Apple places the SSD storage NAND chips closer to the vents of the board. Now, this then generally means that air intake, moist, dust generally can get into the board easily. Now, the general reason for this will be placed down in the description. That is the Reddit post I discussed earlier. But in simple take, basically what is happening is this. Now, Apple places the SSD NAND disk or NAND storage section on your boards closer to the vent section for the 2019 models to be more precise. Now, these, as mentioned, is closer to the vent section. So moist, humidity, dust, and all other things accumulate over time. Now, as time goes on, these things can lead to short-circuiting of the board or cause short-circuiting of one part of the board. Now, as generally from the 2016 or 2017 of MacBooks going on, Apple generally doesn't rely on a removable part of your device. So from your SSDs and your RAMs are soldered on directly on the device. So this then means that if there is any problem on one side of the machine, it can generally affect the whole board, leading the whole machine not to work. And repairing this will generally mean whoever is trying to repair or whichever repairer is trying to work on these would have to take a closer look to find out where exclusively the problem is. And this is always a 50-50 game, as it might also mean that the board generally doesn't work, meaning you would have to actually change the whole board, causing another problem. So it's either you buy a newer device or not. Now, generally, these people might say this is a design flaw, as this then prevents people who might just have problems with their hard disks or SSDs to just replace them. Now, generally, people might think this is a design flaw, as when you would want to replace, say, your SSD or your RAM, you can't just easily take it out since it's soldered onto the board. But then again, the advantage of soldering your SSD or your RAMs to your board is optimization. There's quick time response for the device as well. which I believe is a general take for Apple through all this while from 2016 coming onwards. But then again, as this is even the topic now that I'm discussing, these also causes short circuiting of the board, as the placement of the SSD slot or the NAND disk is closer to your vents. So in case you are using a 2019 MacBook Pro and you have no hope of changing it, what I believe you must do is 1. Try to do a backup of every important file you have. There are various options: getting an external and copying and making sure you have a double backup copy of every important file you have in your system. It will go on being a plus for you in general. Secondly, you can try options of backing up things onto the cloud, which creates an advantage of getting your files anywhere, or in case of a problem, you are safe. A third option is, if you can, open up your device. Try once in a blue moon, try to clean out your device, your fans, and also clean out any dust that might be accumulated onto the board section. But again, be cautious. If you know nothing about controlling systems or how to do this, I would advise you to simply just stay away from it or get it into the hands of a professional. Also, there's another option, which is generally buying newer MacBooks, which then again doesn't send us away from the problem of having the NAND disks onto the board. But then again, it removes the speculation I know most people generally have of Apple intentionally clearing out older devices. Also, there's another option, which is simply buying the newer MacBooks. Now, I know this doesn't solve your problem in general, but again, it keeps you in the safe zone where you have a better security on your device, or generally a better warranty and protection on your device as well. Since M1 chips are not notorious to have such problems, but the 2019 MacBook problem, as this is even a topic of discussion from the Reddit post and per personal experience, has been happening every time. So this has been a quick update for me, Melon, on Tech Report. If you have any suggestions or any solutions on this whole MacBook saga of 2019 MacBook saga, share it down in the comment section. And if you have any suggestion on what you advise more users of MacBooks to also do, let us know. Let's keep it an interactive platform so we all learn something new in tech. Once again, has been Melon, hoping to see you another time.